Hey, hello there everyone. Welcome back to Let's Play Chaos Head. A tunnel-like crevice. Buried alive at the bottom of it was a familiar-looking, glasses-wearing girl. It seemed like a long while had passed since I last saw Yua.
なぜか急にこの隙間ができて、ついさっきまで全く身動きが取れなかったんですけど。
She said apologetically, averting her eyes from me.
手をしっかり掴んでて。
I gripped Yua's hand tighter and pulled as hard as I could, in hopes of dragging her out through the crevice. Ayase helped as well. When the two of us pulled Yua's hand with all our strength, she escaped the wreckage rather speedily.
ありがとう、ござい。
All her body was covered with dust. Bits of concrete were stuck to her long hair. But Yua didn't seem to be injured either. That left only Nanami. Leaving Yua to Ayase, I searched for Nanami. Considering the fact that Yua had been able to work herself free, my delusion must have taken effect well. If so, it should be possible to rescue Nanami from a crevice or something, like Yua. As expected, while I looked around in a number of wreckage heaps, I saw Nanami's face in one of the cracks there.
Nanami!
I called to her, but Nanami didn't react. She appeared to be unconscious. I reached out a hand to touch Nanami's shoulder, and momentarily hesitated. The form of the Nanami who had turned to particles yesterday and dissolved before my eyes flitted across the back of my brain. No, this Nanami had to be the real Nanami. I took the plunge and grabbed Nanami's shoulder, her blouse. I succeeded in distinctly touching her. Her warmth was there. Hold on, let me fix my cable here. I've got a cable that's really in the way. Alright, there we go. I pulled her out with all my strength, in the same manner as I'd done with Yua. Unlike Ayase and Yua, Nanami wore bloodied clothes. Her arm in particular was pure red. For the time being, I laid her on her back and checked her breathing. It sounded painful, but she let out a slight hold the phone, I can't read. It sounded painful, but she let out slight exhalations. Hello.
よかった。
At this point, I was most worried about the condition of her blood-drenched right hand. When I tried to hold it, to examine it, my own hand passed through it. A delusionary hand? Nanami's right hand really had been.
ごめん。ごめん。巻き込んで。
Groans spilled forth from Nanami's mouth, her dust-coated face. When I softly brushed her on the cheek, Nanami's eyelids slid open. Her line of sight wandered for a bit before her eyes took hold of me.
ナナミ。
That instant, Nanami's expression crumpled, contorting. Great big tears overflowed from her. She clutched hard at my hand with her left hand. She murmured it as if to cling to me, but I shook my head a little as I answered.
ナナミの本当のお兄は僕じゃないよ。
Man, I'm yawning. Hello? Her memories were muddled. Nishijo Nanami sensed it. Her brother's words served as a trigger, heralding in Nanami's heart the sensation that she had two brothers. Not. It seemed like she had two. She had to. She had flashbacks to the faces of her two brothers. One was pathetic seeming, one was all wrinkly. On the other hand, she was positive she had only one sibling. Her memories and what she had recognized, they weren't matching up. What had been reality? What had been an illusion? Unknowing, she became frightened. And as she tried to make the inside of her head go blank, suddenly she heard her own voice coming into her like tiny ripples on water. Nana, you've got to keep yourself together. Before she knew it, Nanami was standing in a hallway that shone with the light of sunset. The scent of disinfectant sprinkled at her nose. In front of her was a plain-looking door. Nanami was holding its handle, and without her will having any bearing on it, her hand opened the door.
ああ、お兄、またご飯食べないつもり？ちゃんと食べてっていつも言ってるじゃん。出ないと元気になんないよ。あ、もしかしてグリーンピースが入ってるから？子供じゃないんだし、いい加減好き嫌いやめたら？そりゃナナだってグリーンピース嫌いだから残したくなる気持ちはわかるけど、ちゃんと食べてくんないとナナが怒られるんだからね。あの怖い看護師長さんに。
ナナミ、
何？
今まで辛く当たってごめん。
お兄が謝るなんて珍しいじゃん。
もう僕のために無理をする必要はないんだ。
何言ってるの？
僕は身を隠さなくちゃならなくなった。だからお前はもうここには来なくていい。
何のつもり？
さようなら。
Her memories became cut off there. The fact that she had had a real brother. The fact that she'd poured her heart into nursing her severely ill older brother for years. The fact that she'd gone on straining herself, thinking she had to hang in there and be dependable to take care of him. Up until this very moment, for a whole year and a half, all those things had completely slipped out of her memory. Those memories were made to never have been there in the first place. And in their exchange, her brother was healthy, living on his own in Shibuya. Her mother had requested that she go check on how he was doing periodically, and once in a while, on the way home from school, she'd stop by his room. She'd made herself think it was perfectly ordinary custom of theirs, a continuation of the past, and that she did it because they were family. She hadn't experienced any doubts whatsoever.
どうしてナナは忘れちゃってたんだろう。
30 minutes after she was rescued from being buried alive, Nanami finally reunited with her real brother. He was lying on the road, he was breathing, but he wasn't conscious. As always, he was wrinkly and small, all dried up and looking very feeble. This was the brother Nanami had always known from long ago.
こんなのひどいよ。ナナはお兄に文句ばっかり言ってたけど。
She spilled tears as she clung to her brother's diminutive numb body.
お兄のこと一度だって忘れたいなんて思ったことなかったのに。勝手だよ。わがまますぎだよ。
A sound like the scraping of metal came from her brother's clothing. Something went slipping out of his breast pocket. It was what Nanami had been looking for all along. Something that had left her when she lost her right hand. A cheapish bangle with a pattern of snow crystals. Bewildered, she stared at her brother's true face, but his wrinkled covered eyes remained shut. Nanami picked the bracelet up with her left hand. It felt familiar to the touch. The first present she had ever received from her brother. It was her treasure. Pardon. Nanami lifted her gaze, unconsciously seeking out the figure of her older brother. Her other brother. The brothers. He had his back to her, a long sword in his hand. He was walking away. He was leaving this place. Nanami understood that intuitively. She became forlorn at the thought that maybe he meant to leave without saying anything to her.
行っておいで。
Knitting her eyebrows, Nanami took a quick glance around.
今、声が。
It was the voice of her brother in a memory, a voice reaching her heart, from he who should have been unconscious.
彼は僕と一心同体。もう一人のお兄なんだから。
Nanami didn't know if it was a voice her brother had emitted, or else merely an auditory hallucination. But even then,
わかった。
she said to her brother, lying prone. Rising, Nanami walked up to her other brother's back. Her body couldn't muster any strength. For days she'd been pinned up to an eerie objet d'art in a pitch-black room, forced to experience horrific suffering, such as watching anime dubbed. Alright, hold on. You gotta take a sip. Alright. She had no idea how many times she thought of dying. Understandable. Her right hand especially. The powerful pain in it continued incessantly. Like there was a huge flea stuffed in her bone, gnawing it down. I mean, what? The sensation she didn't have a hand and the hallucination that she did mixed and collided, almost driving her crazy. She was exhausted both mentally and physically. If she let her guard down, she'd crouch right where she stood and be rendered unable to take another step forward. Which was why Nanami had to fight desperately to keep stretching out her hand. She wanted to halt her brother so much, to the point of putting in such an effort.
待って。
Once she just barely managed to squeeze out her voice, he noticed. He stopped and turned back in her direction. She'd succeeded in stopping him, but Nanami was torn about how to address him. The reality is that this brother... What the fuck am I even saying, dude? The reality was, this person wasn't her brother. The conviction that this person was her brother... Those two feelings became hopelessly entangled, and she couldn't put her emotions in order on a moment's notice. Except the bangle she held in her left hand. Though cold to the touch, it was a gift from him, and it warmed her heart. She felt like this bangle existence tied the two of them together. She was fine with that being the sole answer. Her confusion soon vanished.
お兄は本当のお兄じゃないかもしれないけど、頼りにならなくて、おたくさんで、アニメキャラのお人形さんばっかり集めてて、口が悪くて、愛想もなくて、意地悪なことばっかり言うけど、お兄もナナのお兄だよ。
Struggling to keep herself from crying, Nanami smiled with all her might.
ありがとう、ナナミ。
Her other brothers... the brothers! Fuck, man. Her other brother showed her a bashful expression. The instant she felt relief, Nanami's consciousness began gradually receding into the distance. Rip. As Nanami staggered and seemed about to topple over, I hastily caught her. She'd gone unconscious. Her face was white as a sheet. Her breathing, too, sounded painful.
早く病院に運ばないと、このままじゃ危ないわ。
Yeah, I'm sure the hospitals are gonna have a field day with that one. You know, with the entire Tokyo metropolis being fucked over. Said the plump woman who had introduced herself as Momose, looking over into Nanami's face and speaking gravely. Next, she turned her gaze on Shogun.
そっちに寝かせてる子もね。
I entrusted Nanami to Momose-san.
2人を頼みます。
あなたはどうするの？
探さなくちゃいけない人がいて。
Noah 2's location. I tried asking Nanami, but she told me she wasn't sure where she'd been held captive. The only thing I could do was search for the person called Hatano after all.
必要なことなのね。グラジオールを倒すために。
グラジオールか。
If you were to rephrase it as Noah 2.
うん。そうだよ。
Ayasa's expression went tight. She took a step closer to me, dragging one of her legs slightly. Ah, fuck! Accidental right click. It had to happen. It seemed as though she was really wounded.
一緒に行くわ。私も。
I know I butchered that sentence. Leave me alone.
その必要はないよ。
Even after I told her so, Ayase shook her head in refusal.
基地に集まらないと。
綾瀬も、それに、岩も。畑野っていう人を探してほしい。
When I voiced Yua's name, I saw the very girl in question who had been shrinking back behind Momose-san jump a little, her shoulders trembling.
その人が、ノア2の場所知ってるから。一緒に行動しなくても、僕はみんなの見聞きしたことがわかる。だから、今は手分けして探して。
For the moment, I thought it was the best possible strategy. We had to hurry. There was no guaranteeing our safety if another earthquake took place.
わかった。
Ayase said, though she lowered her eyes regrettably.
なんだかよくわからないけど、
野呂瀬源一が、すべての黒幕です。
そういうこと。それなら妹さんたちのことは私に任せなさいな。
Momose-san thrust out her chest, and nodded as though to encourage me.
ただし無茶しちゃダメよ。それと一つ頼まれてほしいんだけど。ばんちゃん、ヘラヘラ笑ってるうさんくさそうな中年刑事を見たら私に連絡するように伝えてくれる？
Feels bad, man. Was she talking about Yasushi Bun? Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's not too many Japanese people still called Bun. I knew that he died, shot to death by his partner, because I'd unconsciously witnessed the moment when it happened. I was about to convey this to Momose-san, but...
まったくあの人はこんな時にどこをほっつき歩いてるんだか。まあ案外どこかで怪我人を助けてるのかもしれないけどね。
Yikes. Since Momose-san said such things, I found myself unable to tell her.
というわけでよろしく。
はい。
I nodded without meaning to, and I promised that it was 100% impossible to fulfill. But I couldn't think of how else to answer her.
西条くん。
Yua, head lowered, spoke in a voice as weak as a fly's rasping. I'd noticed that she'd been peeping timidly at me for a while now, looking as if she were about to say something.
あなたのこと疑ってごめんなさい。
It's all Gucci.
私、西条くんを傷つけるようなこと言って。
The lenses of her glasses considerably soiled with dust. Behind them, Behind them, her eyes were surely wet with tears.
謝っても許してもらえるとは思ってないです。
You damn straight.
それでも謝らせてください。
No.
ごめんなさい。
She bowed deeply to me. I turned my back on her without saying anything. Yeah, damn straight, son.
僕のベースにあるセイラのフィギュア、
はい。
よかったらもらってくれる？
あ、
It'd been a shock when she deceived me, but now I understood her circumstances. Which was why I said something like, I'll forgive you. I'd start to see myself conversely as being presumptuous. I thought Yua was my enemy all along. I didn't possess the right to have her lower her head to me, or to forgive her.
いいんですか？
もらってほしい。
はい。はい。また一緒にフィギュア買いに行きましょうね。
Snorer. At last it returned to Yua, a gentle smile like the one she'd worn when we met for the first time. For the very first time. I nodded at her words. I exchanged wordless looks with Ayase and Momose-san as well. I seared the image of Nanami and Shogun into my eyes one last time. I began walking alone through the mountain of rubble. Champ. Ooh. We're getting there. The Shinsen station of Oh, hold on, I gotta read this. Okay. The Shinsen station of the Inokashira line was one stop away from Shibuya. The station it would take hardly 1 minute to arrive at via train. The station itself was completely underground, being located in a tunnel, and the only outside light that reached it was a faint amount coming in through the floor to the outdoor exit area at the end of the platform. Now, due to the earthquake, all the light fixtures had gone off, and it was terribly dim, much more so than usual. Aoi-senna stepped onto the platform, supporting Orihara Kozue. There had been no need for her to buy a ticket. She didn't spot any station workers anywhere, and the ticket machines were out of service too. When she looked at the tracks, the rails there were visibly warped. Naturally, the trains had been at a standstill since yesterday. Kozue's left foot was completely bloody. If you hear any noises, by the way, my windows are open. It's fucking hot here. It's 34 degrees C. Don't ask me how much Fahrenheit it is. I don't have a converter with me, and Google is too far away. Broken glass had sliced into her during the earthquake. Senna had wrapped a towel around it in hopes of stopping the blood, but the depth of the wound surpassed her expectations, and first aid treatment wouldn't be enough by itself. Gigalomaniacs shouldn't use their power to heal their own wounds. Pain compelled them to be reminded of the reality of their injuries. They couldn't create local shared recognition to the effect of "I'm not wounded." They couldn't make it be as if nothing had happened. Their human instincts wouldn't permit it. No matter how Kozue whined, looking as if she were about to cry, Senna remained silent. All she had done was focus intensely and wholeheartedly on walking toward the Shinsen station. Alright, listen up, boys. After doing a 5 out of 7 job, you know, where all you do is talk on the phone, don't try to do a fucking reading let's play. You heard it here first. Wise words. Upon reaching the depopulated platform, Senna abruptly released the hand she'd been using to support Kozue. Kozue, who could only stand up on one leg, immediately crumpled in place. Wow, that's rude. Kozue looked up in perplexity, but Senna didn't give her a second glance. Glaring at a certain fixed point, she ground her teeth together. It might be her dad. Well, that's a coinky-dink. At the end of our line of sight, A lone human figure was sitting down at the back of the dim platform.
セナさんのパパなのだ。
Here we go again with the fucking ear ape noise that happens every time you start the game. Ah, dun dun dun. Yeah, there we go. A homeless man clad in filthy clothing. He held a poster with "The people's heart are perishing" written on it. Senna slowly walked toward him. Yo, don't kill him.
誰に向けたメッセージだ。
Her voice was frigid.
負を生へと変換できる者たちへの遺言だよ、セナ。
The homeless man, Hatano, kept his head lowered and didn't look at his daughter's face as he spoke evenly, voicing her name.
お前に慣れ慣れしく名前を呼ばれたくない。この半年、ずっと考えてきた。お前をどうやって殺すか。
ありがとう。
どうして礼を言う。
利己的な理由だよ。お前に殺されることが私にとって最善の贖罪かもしれない。そう思った。
それなら話は早い。
Senna rebooted her D-sword. The method she had selected to kill her father was cutting him down with the D-sword. Its simplicity, in other words, came closest to the truth. There was no meaning in how she killed him. There was meaning in killing him.
すまない。
Hatano had yet to raise his face, sorry.
どうして。
お前に父殺しの汚名を着せてしまうからだ。
殺せさえすれば、どんな恥ずかしめだって受けてやる。お前は母さんと妹を殺した。
事実だ。
しかもあんなむごい最後。
Senna's voice, which had until then maintained its cool-headedness and all emotions repressed, wavered a tiny bit.
お前には見せたくはなかった。いや、今のは聞き流してくれ。
なぜあんなことを。
家庭を説明することは無意味だよ。お前は納得しないし、結果が改変されるわけでもない。
Senna pointed the tip of her D-sword at Hatano's head.
そうやってまた逃げるのか。
間違っていたのは私だ。それが全てなんだ。
お前には失望した。
まだ期待していたのか。何を。人を含めて世界は全て電気仕掛け。そう言ったのはお前だ、セナ。
Senna's shoulders trembled. For close to 3 years since Hatano started the Mana scheme, the two of them had rarely met. Senna was shaken by how, despite this, he managed to see through her so easily. Discomfited, she attempted to blow away her reason by transforming her internal uncertainty to rage.
セナ、惑わされるな。電気仕掛けならば、お前のその私を恨む感情もまた、ただの電気信号でしかない。
Woo! Hatano was pressing at her, so Senna told herself. Calm down.
お前の言葉なんか無効だ。
あまり感情的な行動をとるな。でなければ、お前は矛盾する。その言葉を受け取ってはいけない。精神攻撃だ。判断を中止するんだ。
話は終わりだ。
Senna was about to brandish her D-sword, but then Flocker abruptly ended this episode of Let's Play Chaos Head. Thank you for watching as always, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, guys, see ya.